Hi, this is Ella Timbul. My platform is to share instructional tips, inspiration, and strategies. Welcome for another round of Power Up Your Instruction. For those who are new in this channel, please hit subscribe. Please subscribe for the latest instructional tips, strategies, and inspirational journey of a global teacher, and thank you. In this webinar session entitled Assessment Design in Modular Distance Learning Modality, this webinar training is our way of building bridges to the new normal. In today's session, our goals are: first, identify the different types of assessment in modular distance learning. Second, incorporate complex writing task assessment in module making. And third, apply the different writing to learn assessment with the 5 OLALA module making components. Guided by these goals, let us start our session now.
Hello everybody. So for today, our webinar is entitled Assessment Design in Modular Distance Learning Modality. So our focus for today is we will highlight the different assessment tools we can incorporate in our module making. So whether we are creating a module that is an electronic base or a paper-based copy, then it's better that we incorporate different assessment tools and different assessment design or assessment types when we are creating our module. It is better that we measure our students' knowledge based on the assessment tools that we are providing with them. So determining what students know and what they can do is an integral part of the teaching and learning process. That is why creating those assessment design and tying up that with what they know and what they can do is actually a sophisticated work. It's a lot of work for us, but it's better that we know if they achieve the goals of the teaching and learning process, or if they achieve the goals that you set in your modules. So if you will remember on our first edition when we discussed about modules making, I tried to help you using the 5 OLALA steps or the 5 OLALA components when you are creating your module. So there are 5 steps. For those of you who have not watched this webinar session about designing modular distance learning, I try to introduce the 5 OLALA steps. So OLALA steps: O stands for overview, L for learning objectives, A for activating prior knowledge, L for lesson, and A for assessment. So those are the 5 components when you are creating your modules. At least these are the components that you have to look into when you are creating your modules. So please watch the first webinar on this on the YouTube channel. Try to search for it. And also when we created our modules, I tried to use this template. So most of you by now have used this template. This is much an easy version of creating your modules. It's like a step-by-step. You are guided step-by-step when you are creating your teacher-made modules. I know there are lots of modules out there created by somebody, but it's better that we create our own modules so that it is suited to the needs of our students. So it's something like personal in approach when you create the modules on your own. So remember, in our discussion long time ago, there are different types of modules. Either it's a paper-based modules, which is in print, or online modules, it's an electronic copy, or the vlog modules or the video modules. So these are at least the 3 types of modules that you can do. But again, you cannot do the online and the vlog modules if you don't know how to create the modules, because you have to provide first the paper-based copy of your modules before you can put that online and before you can put that also in creating a vlog module. And just to remind you, there are 4 T's of the module. T stands for the following: what is the topic of the module? What are the central texts of this module? What are the targets or the standards or the goals that you want to achieve at the end of each module? and what are the main tasks or the assessment that you need to include in your module. So those are the four T's of the module. For today's session, we will try to highlight one T, which is the task. What are the different assessments and performance tasks that you need to incorporate in your module so that student can complete it, and at the same time, after students have completed it, you can determine what they know and what they can do. So those are the four T's of modules. At least those elements should be there in your module. Now the question now is, how do a module's topics, tasks, targets, and text work together to promote learning? So how do these four T's work together in promoting learning? How do these four T's work hand in hand in delivering instruction? And how do these four T's work together if you know students have learned something from you or something from the modules that you created? So this question is something for us to reflect. And also, how do modules assess student achievement? And what are the different ways we can assess students in the modular distance learning modality? So these are the few questions that I want you to think by now, because most of you have started creating modules and some of you are on the process of creating modules. So how do modules assess student achievement anyway? So if most kids are just answering modules, they're answering multiple type question, fill in the blank question, or answering an assessment in your module. So how do you know if your students have achieved the learning goals? So that is something for you to reflect. Now, what is the purpose why we create a module? So we are actually trying to evaluate students' independent work on the basis of their reading, their writing, their speaking, and their listening tasks. So this is the purpose why we created the module. We want to evaluate students' independent work in the areas of reading, writing, speaking, and the listening tasks. So there are two main types of assessment in the learning process. One is the formative and one is the summative. We know that formative is given in the beginning or during the instruction, and the summative assessment is given at somewhere at the end of the instruction. So those are the two main umbrellas when we are trying to determine the assessment in learning that we need to provide with our students. Now, I want you to reflect on the following statement. It says that no single type of assessment provides a complete picture of student learning, but choosing the right type or right combination of assessment will give you a more accurate measurement of how closely students have achieved the learning objectives. So this is something for us to reflect, okay? So there is no single assessment tools, or there's no single assessment that can measure the knowledge of a student. It could be a combination of one or two. There's a saying that one size does not fit all. So if you hit the right combination, then that is good because that will measure what the students know and what they can do, or if they achieve the purpose of your module, or if they achieve the goals of what you're trying to do at the end of that module. Now, there are different types of assessment in modular distance learning. So these are the common tools we incorporate when we create our modules. Either it's a paper-based, electronic-based, or blog-based modules. So first, we have the selected response assessment. Second, we have the short constructed response assessment. Third, we have the extended response assessment. And fourth, we have the speaking and listening assessment. And fifth, we have the complex writing task assessment. So these are the common assessment tools that you can incorporate when you are creating your modules. I have seen a lot of modules already because there are some teachers who collaborate with one another, sharing their collab modules in the Google Drive. And I have seen that they have used the selected response assessment wherein they incorporate multiple type of question in their assessment, fill in the blank, matching type, and also I see some short constructed response wherein they put some question and the student will answer the question, or the teacher provides a problem and the student have to explore and explain the task. So those are the common type of assessment I have seen when I review some of the collab modules created by our teachers, and it's a great work actually. But it's better also if we will try to incorporate something about extended response and the complex writing task assessment. So in today's session, we will try to focus on the complex writing task assessment. So we will incorporate writing when we are doing our module, so that it's not only limited to multiple choice questions, a simple question, fill in the blanks, matching type. So we will try to incorporate learning to write activity when we are creating modules. So students need to write, because when they write, we are trying to deepen their understanding and their approach and knowledge when it comes to your module. Now let's dive into the different assessment in the modular distance learning. So first we will try to discuss about selected response assessment. Well, selected response assessment, some of the examples of selected response assessments are using multiple choice questions, using matching type item questions, or using true or false questions. So these are the common assessment tools I have seen in some of the modules. Teacher use multiple choice question, matching type items, and true or false in their tasks or in the activities that they incorporate in their modules. And then also, let's proceed to short constructed response assessment. Some of the examples of short constructed response assessment are using short answer and essay. So short answer, wherein the students have to construct or develop their own answer without the benefit of any suggestions or choices. So the student have to write actually. And also, uh, if you don't want to use short answer, you can use essay. So essay more or less a minimum of three paragraphs. Well, that's good. That's a good essay actually. So those are the approaches we can use when we are using the short constructed response assessment through the use of short answer and essay. Next, when we are trying to use the extended response assessment, well, extended response assessment, it is the opposite of the short response, wherein here in the extended response, it is more lengthy in approach, lengthy in, there's a, how you call that, length when students are answering their assessment here. So, extended response assessment requires students to construct a written answer in response to a questions or task rather than to select one from a list. And an extended written response is one that is at least several sentences in length. So that's what I'm trying to say. It's like a lengthy, it's like a narrative. So students are actually narrating their answers or explaining and analyzing it. So that is the use of extended response assessment. Now, another type is the speaking and listening assessment. However, when we are trying to do the modular distance learning, we cannot actually test their speaking and listening assessment, because if it is a distance learning or modular approach, so it's seldom that you see each other. Maybe this speaking and listening assessment can be done at least at the end of a unit or at the end of the chapter or at the end of the semester, wherein students have to show their speaking and listening assessment with you in a face-to-face discussion. And the last type of assessment that you can incorporate in your module making is through the use of complex writing task assessment that incorporate the writing process. So this is our focus for today. We will try to ask students to incorporate writing in their module in the module. So teachers have to incorporate different writing activities in the module, whether it's electronic or a paper-based copy. Well, there are two types of assessment or two types of complex writing we can incorporate in our module. First, we have the writing to learn, and second, we have the writing to demonstrate knowledge. So let us try to dive in one at a time. So when we say writing to learn versus writing to demonstrate knowledge, these two are something different. So I can say writing to learn are short, writing to demonstrate is more complicated. So so these are the two complex writing assessment that you can incorporate in your modules. Either you use the writing to learn or the writing to demonstrate knowledge. Now let me go one by one. So let's start with writing to learn. So when we say writing to learn, it is actually a strategy wherein teacher employs at the end of the lesson to see if students develop big ideas and concepts. They understand the ideas and concepts that you are trying to uh, for them to measure. Now, this approach usually use the following specific ways to incorporate it, either through the use of journals, logs, response, to written and oral questions, summary, free writing, notes, and other writing assessment, or the quick write, and so on. So those are the things that we can do when we try to incorporate writing to learn. So basically, writing to learn are short writing activity, and we can incorporate this through the use of the different graphic organizers. So later on you will see those graphic organizers that we can use when we are trying to use the writing to learn. So writing to learn are short writing activity wherein we are trying to measure if students have developed the ideas and concept in your modules. Now, about writing to demonstrate knowledge, these are actually complicated writing assignment wherein students are asked to write a report, an essay, a persuasive and writing, or creative writing, or a research paper. So here, students are actually doing essay, letters, projects, formal assignment or paper prepared over weeks or over a course. So that's writing to demonstrate knowledge. So we will not focus here because our main concern for today is the writing to learn activity. So right now, I will try to demonstrate to you on how we can incorporate the different assessment design in our modular distance learning. So our focus is we will deal with the complex writing tasks assessment that incorporate the writing process. So I will show to you the writing to learn activities that you can put in your module. So instead of using multiple type of question, matching type, fill in the blank, what else? Maybe answering questions. So we will try to make it different in approach by incorporating the different writing assessment in creating your modules. By the way, I have this highlighted link wherein I will share the different organizers. So you can click this link and that will lead you to my Google Drive wherein I will share to you the different graphic organizers that you can use in your modular distance learning. So right now I will show to you the different graphic organizers. So let me go to my drive. Let me wear my glass. So right now, let me go to my drive. So this one actually, module assessment, I shared all of its content in that link. Okay, so first, I shared to you this template, the 5 OLALA steps. Later on, we will use this when we create our module. So you have this on that drive. Next, also, I will share to you the assessment, the error and analysis assessment. Oh, not this one. Let me close this. Okay. Now, if you want compare and contrast, you can use this graphic organizer. See this beautiful graphic organizer wherein students are trying to compare and contrast, finding similarities and differences. This is a good writing activity, so compare and contrast. Next, let's see another template we can use. This one, error analysis. So error analysis, I use this in math, okay, in my math instruction. However, you can use this in any other discipline. So usually I have two boxes here wherein I will provide two problems or two scenarios here, and student will describe the error, and they have to redo it on their own just to see if the given two examples are right or wrong. But you can have actually one box alone if you want to do it. So that's error analysis assessment. Another one is here, error analysis. I will have only one box like what I told you. You can have one box here. You can put the problem here or situation or scenario or anything. Normally I put a math problem here, a solved problem, and students will check if the problem is correct or right. In science, you can incorporate like result of experiment. In English, you can put scenarios or or subject verb agreement, for example, to just see and check if the following matches the subject verb agreement. So that is error analysis. Next, another type is the prior model. So this one is also a good graphic organizer, wherein on the center you will put the concept or the big ideas, and students will define it on their own, and they will try to describe the characteristic, and they will give examples of what it is about and non-examples for that. Okay, so this is the prior model. Another good graphic organizers you can incorporate in your module writing. Another one is noticing and wondering template. So this is another good template also, wherein students will list down what they notice, for example, in that particular task or assignments, and they will write down whatever they wonder. So this is the noticing and wondering note catcher. Another example is reflect and respond. So this one is a good reflection question that after answering a module, students will have to respond 3 to 1. Maybe they have to identify 3 points that they remember as being very important, 2 action that will take because of this learning, and 1 idea that they want to explore further or learn more about this. So this is a reflect and respond 3 to 1, another graphic organizer or writing activity you can incorporate in your module. Okay, let me see another one. Okay, another one is the 6 word. I like this 6 word. So here, it's got here. Okay, let me adjust this. Okay, let me save. Okay, so another way for you to incorporate writing in your module is through the use of 6 word memoir and I can statement. So in 6 words, students have to summarize what they learned in 6 words. And they can also try to put the I can statement, what they can do after answering the module. So that is another one, 6 word strategy. Next, you can do also incorporate story mapping. So in languages, in social science, you can use this template wherein students have to do a chunking in who, what, when, where, and why. So this is a good writing template for them to use. Another one, let me see if we have another one. Okay, this one, the swap graphic organizer. I love this. You know, swap, the student will swap So S stands for survey. The student have to provide whatever they saw on that text or on that activity. And what do you know? So students have to identify what they know about that particular task or assignment in the modules. And they have also way to ask questions, and they will predict what the activity or the module is all about. So that is swap. Another one is this one. I love this template also, making thinking visible. So in making thinking visible, it's divided into three ideas. One is when we are trying to introduce the ideas, when we are trying to synthesize the ideas, and we are trying to dig deeper into the idea. So in introducing ideas, the students will have to answer this statement. I noticed what? What did I notice? So I think blank. So what do they think? Then I wonder, what do they wonder? And on synthesizing ideas, the student have to write down, I used to think blank, now I think blank. In digging deeper ideas, so what makes you say that? So the student have to elaborate. And then what do you see that make you say that? So the student have to explain. So this is making thinking visible. Another graphic organizer that you can implement in your module. Let me see another one. So this one, write and reflect error analysis. Let me see this. Okay, another template or graphic organizer you can use is the write and reflect error analysis. So here the students will write the question, what is the answer, show the correct answer, then they have to answer the following error analysis questions. And lastly, I have this math writing activity. So I use this in my math instruction wherein students have to actually write a story about what they solved. But you can actually adjust this or tweak it depending in your area of concentration. So if you're teaching science, English, um, physical education, and so on. So you can try to adjust or tweak this template depending on the needs of your students and depending on what you want to put here. So normally I have this. I have the problem here, the student will solve, and then they have to narrate the first step they did, and so on. Okay, so those are the writing template or the writing assessment that I normally incorporate when I am trying to do the modules. So right now I will try to create a module, which I did in our first video, but now I will do again a module making, but this time I will try to incorporate the writing assessment. Okay, so I will follow step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, and step 5. Okay, so right now in order for me to demonstrate, I will go to my template, the 5 OLALA steps. Let me see if I can find it. So I will go here. Let me see. Okay, here. It's taking so long. Okay, there you have it. So right now I have this template, the 5 OLALA template. So I will do modules, okay? But this time the highlight of my module making is the assessment. How can I put assessment? Okay, so first I will go to my lesson plan. So I have the link here already. So I will go to my lesson plan just to copy the content that I will put, okay? So let me copy that link. Okay, copy paste here, enter. So I will copy paste this because this will be the content of my module. So I have the unit about triangles. So let me copy paste this. Copy, then I will go to my template. So I will put it here. So the different parts of this module are presented using the following topics. So I will copy paste it here. So there you have it, the topics that I will do for this chapter. So just ignore the spacing and the numbering. So I'm just trying to demonstrate it. You can put numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on here. Okay. So this is the overview of our template. And now let me go to So for today, the highlight of my module is about the Pythagorean theorem. So I will create a module for this, okay? So now let me go on this, and I will copy paste this. Then I will put this in the template again. So this module is assigned to help you paste. Okay, so right now I created the overview of the lesson. Now I will go to the learning objectives. So what will be my objective? So student will be able to, that's the meaning of SWOT. Now let me go again to my lesson plan. Let me use this link. So I'll go now to my, let me create another one here. So copy paste. So now I will try to identify the objectives. Okay, so for this particular thing, I have the objective. Where's my objective? Okay, right here. Right now, maybe I'll copy paste this, and I will put this on my nope. Okay, so let me put it on my objective. So student will be able to. So this is my objective. Able to estimate. Copy paste. So student will be able to estimate the length of a side of triangle. So just ignore any typo here. So I am able to create the learning objective. So right now I will provide activities to activate prior knowledge. So let me go to my lesson plan again. So maybe I will try to copy paste this. So I will take a screenshot of this. So this is my oops, sorry. Okay, let me do it again. Hold on. Okay, so let me copy paste this. This will be my okay, to activate prior knowledge, that's my activity. I have to paste it here and adjust the spacing. Okay, the lesson. So how will you discuss the lesson? So let me go here. So I will copy paste example 1. Sample 1 is the content of my lesson. So let me go to my template. Okay, adjust the spacing. Then the space. Let me have another activity. This time activity number 2. Let me go again to my module, my template I mean. Then adjust the space. Let me have another activity, okay? Okay, these questions. Okay. Okay, so let me put again on my template. Then adjust the space. Okay, so there you have it. So we're able to create first the overview of the lesson, the learning objectives, activating prior knowledge, the lesson content, how will you discuss it, and now here I will do now assessment. So this is the highlight of our module making. How will you incorporate those writing activities? So for this particular assessment, I will use I will try to use the error analysis, okay? So let me use error analysis for this example. So here it is, it's actually prepared. So what I will do, I will copy paste this, copy paste, okay? So this will be my assessment. So I will put it on the assessment box. So try to use this, the picture, then adjust. So there you have it. I have the assessment, which is I used error analysis. Okay. Okay, let me do spacing here. Okay. Let me capture the main. I think it's capturing only the topmost part. So let me highlight this now again. Okay, let me go to the template. So I will use error analysis as my assessment. Okay, copy paste here. Okay, there you have it. Adjust the spacing. So there you have it. I will use error analysis in this assessment. Okay, now I want to add more. So you see this, I use error analysis. I have two solved problems here and the student have to describe the error. So right now I want to add another assessment. I will use visible thinking. I want to incorporate visible thinking in my assessment. So visible thinking, then I will copy paste again, copy, then I will put that on my template again. Where's my template? Okay, right there. Okay, okay, there you have it. So I have two assessments. One is error analysis, and then another one is visible thinking, wherein students have to reflect the following ideas: introducing ideas, synthesizing ideas, and digging deeper ideas. So there you have it. So we were able to complete the modules highlighting the assessment. So in just less than how many minutes, I am able to create my module. So right now, the challenge for you now is to create your own module by incorporating those writing assessment that I shared to you. Remember, you can access those in the Google Drive in the link that I shared to you. So thank you very much, everybody. That concludes our training entitled Assessment Design in Modular Distance Learning Modality. And thank you so much. Bye.